Imagine something disastrous happens to you. You're riding your bike and hit a pebble at just the worst angle. Your front wheel twists and you go flying over the handlebars. You take inventory of yourself while lying in the street and acknowledge that you're okay, except for the horrible pain in your wrist. After checking into the hospital, the doctor tells you that you've broken your wrist. You exclaim your hatred for the hobby of biking when the doctor tells you that that isn't the cause. It's the fact that you don't consume enough calcium and you have weak bones. What? The cause of your broken wrist isn't the tumble you took on the bike, but the fact that you don't drink enough milk? Surely that might be part of it, but if you hadn't hit that pebble in the street, you definitely wouldn't be getting an x-ray in the ER right now. Imagine a world where everything has a black or white cause, and every professional is so firm in their belief that they don't think outside of their narrow box. Experts in the field of psychology are very polarized on the issue of nature versus nurture in the field of mental illness. Many claim to have every common disorder to have a singular cause. To a degree, this is correct. Some disorders, such as schizophrenia, autism, obsessive-compulsive disorder, and even depression and anxiety, seem to have causes that lean more heavily on the biological side or more heavily on the environmental side. Yet the human psyche is so complex that we cannot begin to assert that anything concerning mental illness has a singular cause. During the 4th century, Hippocrates claimed that hysteria in women was caused by a wandering uterus. This finding was considered to be fact, not a theory, and apparently was cured by women sneezing, which drove her uterus back to the right place. Even in the modern day, experts in the field of mental disorders are completely confident in their findings. In 2004, Thomas Bouchard completed a study with schizophrenia, in which he found that there was an extremely high rate of genetic influence. He even stated that every reliable measure of a psychological phenotype, normal and abnormal, is significantly influenced by genetic factors. As confident as Bouchard is in his opinion for nature being the primary cause of mental illness, other researchers think the opposite. A recent study from 2017 found that children exposed to stressors earlier in life had more disorders than those without as much cortisol, the stress hormone, in their hair follicles, which suggests that environmental causes are the primary cause for disorders including ADHD, anxiety, oppositional defiant disorder, conduct disorder, and depression, along with many others. With such firm evidence from both the environmental side and biological side, why do we have to pick one? Recently, many studies have begun to confirm that both sides are correct. Mental illness may have a combination of both nature and nurture, and it's virtually impossible to claim that one disorder purely has one influence, especially since individuals are so unique and complex. Every disorder is different in each person, and the combination of factors can have a huge influence. Even the Encyclopedia of Mental Disorders states that a person who has a gene associated with alcohol abuse might not even necessarily become an alcoholic if the individual is raised in an environment that teaches effective ways to handle alcohol. Even though we have made leaps and bounds in science since in the modern age and since Hippocrates, we cannot begin to state with complete confidence that only one cause is the root for any mental disorder. Just like the wandering uterus was proved so wrong, but even though Hippocrates had unwavering confidence, science must not move so quickly so that we are stubborn in our ideas and must accept new ideas in order to be able to fully understand these disorders better. Humans are complicated beings, and the environment is an equally complex place. With nature and nurture combined together, we cannot begin to generalize the cause of mental illness. Thank you so much for listening.